That's awesome how you open that.
That's a lot of shit.
That's like a full blanket of sugar.
Oh yes. Anyway, where were we?
Stump Kitchen, gluten-free vegan eats, Stumptastic treats.
Welcome to Stump Chats.
Hello.
This is Travis.
Hi.
Travis and I met through the Lucky Fin Project, which is super rad, hence the shirt. We're at Nemesis Coffee. Hashtag thank you for letting us film in your coffee shop. So you write comics.
I do.
How do you even start to what's the process?
So I've been a fan of comics for about 20 years now. Ever since the death of Superman, that's really what got me into comic books.
He died?
He died back in the 90s. And then there was 4 Supermen, and then one of them was evil. It's comics, folks. I really ended up gravitating towards X-Men comics because X-Men comics were all about being a minority, being oppressed, feeling like you didn't belong. And that's something, being born with a limb difference, I really gravitated towards. There's nobody in the media, nobody in movies, or TV, or comics who looked like me. I created my hero, the Unstoppable Cherub, and she has a limb difference just like me, and when she's superpowered, she can straighten her arms to look very body normative, but the problem is they're much weaker like that. When they're short like mine, the muscles are all compacted, so she's 10 times as strong as a normal human being.
So rad. What's your favorite food?
Hamburgers.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
Pineapples on pizza? Yes or no?
Yes.
Left-handed or right-handed?
Left-handed.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Ooh.
Quick. Don't think.
Star Trek.
Wow, yes, good answer. What's your sign?
Libra. All about the balance.
Oh yeah, we talked about this too.
Yeah.
Like symmetrical limb difference, non-symmetrical limb difference. I'm Aquarius. I don't know what that means.
Do you surf?
Not well, but I do. I have surfed twice in my life, and I've stood up on the board 3 times.
I've gone a couple of times, but I haven't been able to stand up.
It's very hard. You need abs like nobody's business. Tell me about your limb difference journey, because it's quite different than mine.
Right.
Mine was a shark attack. Just kidding.
So my limb difference is called TAR syndrome, thrombocytopenia absent radius. So I was born missing the radius bone in both of my forearms, and it caused my ulna to kind of bow as I got older. I had my first surgery when I was probably around 6 months. It was a centralization surgery because my hand wasn't really attached, and so it was really floppy, and so they centralized it, and I have a fused wrist, so I can't really turn my wrist at all. I had surgery probably once every couple of years until 20. My last surgery was when I was at 20. I had metal plates and screws in my arms. I had pins. A couple times I've had pins bust out of those, come out of the skin.
And does that also equal like a lot of like chronic pain as you're healing and stuff?
Not so much now. I have a little bit of pain in just this finger from my last surgery. It was an Olivceroff or a bone lengthening surgery, and that kind of caused my tendons to be a little more tense and a little tight, so it's harder for me to close. But overall, there's not too much chronic or lasting pain.
Excellent. What's your favorite thing about having a limb difference?
My favorite thing about having a limb difference is definitely finding the Lucky Fin community and finding all these new... I always felt like when I was meeting a new group of people or going into a new situation that I had something that I needed to prove that I was just as good or better than. Meeting the Lucky Finsters was the first time that I felt completely accepted.
Yeah.
And there was nothing that I had to prove.
Give a thumbs up down below if you can relate to that experience. Cilantro, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Coffee, black or with cream?
Cream. Heavy cream.
Fancy. Limbs, different or not different?
Different.
Different, always different.
Different.
Favorite superhero?
Ooh, Cyclops from the X-Men. Or Captain America, Green Lantern. There's too many to name.
I always have a soft spot for Superman. I think that the reason I have a limb difference is when I was being developed inside my mom's tummy. You know how you're kind of like in fetal position?
Right.
I had this thought that I was like this, just stretching out my left hand, and it got stuck in the side of the womb and just never grew. So I was like, kind of like Superman. This is like the super stump punch of death. Like, it's very bony. It's great.
I've gotten the stump punch of death a couple times in my face here in Vancouver.
We'll insert a clip right here of that.
What made you decide to do Stump Kitchen?
When I got into cooking, I loved it so much. I was terrified of getting into cooking. Terrified. But then when I got into it, I realized I was using my stump as a tool, like a juicer and a masher and a spatula, and I was like, this is great. I burp, I wear sweatpants, I don't wear a bra sometimes.
She
I
is unfiltered. I found that out the whole weekend.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that with the world.
You're welcome. So we've been hanging out with Angel this weekend, and Angel is
Cool.
She's awesome. She also uses a Bionic, a Myoelectric.
Yeah.
And I never see you with a Myoelectric. Is that for any particular reason? Or?
Yeah. I wore arms when I was little. I had lots of different prosthetics, and I had a Myoelectric until I was like maybe 11 or 12.
You want to talk about the Myoelectric?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it just like I found it was like, it was too heavy and I would take it off and I'd get sweaty. And it was really fun and sometimes it would work in different ways, but I eventually let it go because I found, I just kind of like did stuff without it more naturally anyway. So, but now I'm getting an arm to play violin and that's Anyway, where can we find your comments?
You can go to my studio website, www.accidentalaliens.com, or if you go on Etsy and search Unstoppable Cherub, you'll be able to find it.
I'll link it all down below.
My Instagram and Twitter is @RevisTravis.
Here and here. See? Just click. Actually, I don't think that works. It's here. Just find these things and go there. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Stump Kitchen, gluten-free vegan eats, Stumptastic treats.
That's how we're gonna be. How do you make your face?
Make your face prettier.
No.